Alrighty, well, thank you everybody. Welcome back to another VATPAC Town Hall, the first, well, hopefully 3 for 2025. I might say what a productive 5 months it's been already within 2025. There's lots of very exciting things to talk about that have changed, that have happened over the last few months, and sort of a lot of exciting developments and opportunities in the pathway. If we look back just quickly to 4 years ago, you know, it was a very different time here at VATPAC. We had hundreds of PDF documents sprung across multiple different websites, from the SOPs to the local instructions. And now here we are with an automated training system, a new event site on the way. We've got a beautiful new website, an SOPs page with an online search functionality, a Discord server with a working bot interface, integrated profile websites with better login, a help desk system. So it's really been an exciting few years. So without further ado, I'll pass it over to Clem, who will give a sort of opening update.
Awesome, thanks Blair. Thanks for joining us, everyone. What we're going to do is pretty standard. We'll go around the board and the portfolio managers, and they'll give an update on each of their departments, and then we'll open the floor to questions. I think we've got one question already submitted previously that we'll go through, and then we'll open it to the floor. But from a directorate level, I think it's just great to see all you guys flying and controlling the network with the S1s that we've introduced in the past year or two. We're seeing so many more controllers out there doing ground, putting up natus, and providing controlling services, which I think is great to see. And jumping onto VATSIM radar and seeing everyone flying extra, you know what? This is really good to see. I'm very happy about that. From another directorate level, I won't steal everyone's thunder. I'll leave all the good stuff to the portfolio managers, but we've been working with New Zealand on having a course so that we can go to New Zealand and control with a better understanding and not just reading the SOP. So there will be differences, of course, for us going over to them and them going over to us. And I'll leave AJ to talk more about that. And we're still working on the CTAF trial. I know a few of you are keen for that. We're still working with VATSIM on that. So please be patient with that. And then one more thing is that there's a constitution update to be slowly put out. That's all finalized. I just need to hit the publish button. They'll be gone through. Very, very minor changes from that. It won't change the daily operation of our organization and community. But that really is it from me. Blair, I'll answer any questions in the Q&A further on.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you, Clem. Well, without further ado, I'll open up the round table by passing it over to Will in our technology.
Awesome. Thanks, Blair. So yeah, in the interest of everyone's time on a Sunday afternoon, and I'll keep this pretty brief. It's going to be pretty easy for that aspect. Technology has been sort of more in a maintenance-focused stance for the past sort of few months. What that means is we're looking at keeping our existing systems working and dealing with any sort of minor updates to those as they come around and where they are beneficial to the division, but we're not haven't been sort of accelerating or pushing hard on getting any new things out at the moment. A big reason of that is there's not really anything in the division that is from a technical perspective blocking us from continuing with our day-to-days. There's no urgent need to be pushing new things out just for the sake of it, but at the same time we are also struggling with perhaps a challenge with how we maintain a workforce and manage volunteers' time, as well as delivering organised project management and things like that. It's always a challenge in a volunteer environment, and we are really appreciative of the people who have shown interest and willingness to assist us going forward, but it is sort of without having set up the proper structures yet. It is hard to sort of manage that and make it work for us in a way that is going to benefit us in both the short and the long term. So with that said, that leads into sort of one of our key aims for at least the start of this year and probably longer. And we've spoken with the board about this, and everyone's on board that our first sort of priority is to give our existing systems a bit of TLC, write out some documents on how everything is maintained, create a knowledge base that allows the department to keep functioning across a range of different people rather than relying on the knowledge that is in any one individual's head. And what that will set us up for is being able to bring on new people, have a defined work package, if you will, of stuff that needs to be done to help the division, and allow those people who want to contribute to be able to do so in an environment where they're not sort of being thrown in the deep end and saying, hey, thanks, go do something for us, rather than instead giving them some way to do something to help. So one of the big things on that is the events site, which we've been speaking about for several years now. I know it's going to sound like we're beating the same drum over and over, but we are getting closer and closer every time. The way it sort of usually works is we'll have a month or two where we're pushing a bit harder, and then a couple more months where it's a little bit quieter. And that's just based around people's schedules, availability. But we are looking pretty close now. Our back-end functionality, the most of that is set in stone and ready to go. We'll just tweak it as we need. And getting up the user-facing side of that is getting pretty close now, thanks to contributions from Blair especially. So we are hoping to roll that out soon. I would hope within the coming months, possibly sooner. It's feeling less likely now that it will be any later than that, but again, that's sort of just dependent on how everyone goes. With that aside, there are a couple of small little improvements that we are going to focus on as and when we can. I'm not really at a stage yet where we can list those out. I haven't prioritized them. They're just little things that are floating around that can just make some of the work we do a bit easier for us to maintain as a technology department and as well as a staff team across the division. But with that said, that sort of covers off the technology update. Again, I will be reaching out to people who have expressed interest previously in assisting us, possibly later in this quarter, once we've got a better plan of how we want to break down the work that is in front of us at the moment. And if there is anyone else who hasn't yet expressed interest, or perhaps it's been a while ago and you just want to reaffirm that you are interested, please anytime feel free to put a message in, send me an email, or pop it on the help desk, and we can route it through to the right people. I am on a bit of a timeline this afternoon, so if there are any technical specific questions, possibly maybe one or two tops, I am happy to address those right now, but in the absence of any of those, then I'd be happy to pass back to Blair to continue on with the roundtable. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Will. What you might do is my DMs are open. If you have a question for Will, chuck it in the DM. We'll go on to the next one, and then we can jump back to Will and ask him questions. And it's been a sort of an old saying within VATPAC that every 2 years we like to have a new website. So it's pretty exciting to see that our website's hit 2 years, and we're not talking about getting another one. So whatever you're doing, Will, it's working out quite well. We'll move next into events with Chris, if you're ready to go.
Yeah, thanks, Blair. Events in the last kind of 5 months, obviously Q4 for us is the busiest time of year, having World Flight, we've got Across the Ditch, and we generally have our FNO previously in that kind of time of year. So leading off that into the new year, we've decided to have a bit of a quieter quarter for Q1. We took the time to try test out just a few different once-off events. So we hosted the Formula One event. We also started hosting the Prop Party events. We ran 2 of those. So we ran one in Camden, which was the first one, which went really well. There was a lot of participation from both pilots and controllers. The second event we went in to run at Jandakot, and while there was controllers online, there was similar success there. So we're looking as an events team at bringing a few more of those events and kind of bringing a bit more to the Metro D operations in Australia, which we haven't really done much of in the past, which is good. We had few major events in this quarter, which ran well. We ran the Cross the Land series again for the second time, this time being southbound, so us receiving the arrivals. There was about 150 bookings for that, which went really well. A lot of the feedback indicated that people preferred or wanted more real-world routes, which we're looking for in the next edition, and we're going to continue to run that twice a year. So we'll be looking at a northbound event later in the year for that one. We also yesterday ran the Democracy Sausage Sizzle event, which I wasn't actually around, and I haven't seen feedback for that one yet. But I'd like to, I hope it went well. I know that one's been running as a community event for a while, seeing some success there. So, good to see that there's some participation there. And I'm looking forward to seeing the feedback myself. I hope it went well. Other than that, there's not too much to update from events. We've been running pretty smoothly. Always open to any feedback, and if you have any ideas, feel free to send them through to my email or via the help desk, and we can have a look into those. Other than that, that's all for me for now. Thanks, Blair.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris. All right, we'll head into ATS. We didn't get any questions for technology. So, AJ, over to you.
Thanks, Blair. Been another huge month for the 4 months for the ATS team. Just zip around a few of the projects that we've been working on. One of the big ones is the pilot procedures SOPs, similar to the ATC SOPs that we have. We've been going through a consolidation and standardization sort of process after the initial contributions we've got from everyone. We're ready to accept new contributions. So if there's anyone in the community with real world experience or desire to research and contribute on our behalf, please reach out. There's no timeline for the launch of that site, but work is progressing well. Like Clem mentioned, another big project is the comparison or the sort of VATPAC, VATNZ differences package. We're still working through getting all the differences into one document so that we can then produce that Moodle. So hopefully we'll have that out to the division soon. Another bit of policy work that we've been working on is the ATS or controller policy. We've aligned the rating prerequisites in accordance with GCAP. Those differences are live on the training section of the website already. We've also been reviewing the en route extension policy to try and give all C1 controllers a bit more flexibility on what sectors they can extend to. That policy, I think, is pretty close to community release, so there'll be a draft that will be put out, no doubt, so everyone can have a look at that and send through any feedback you have. Another big chunk of work we're working on is the flow endorsement for C1 controllers. We're building a Moodle course there again. It's been written by a couple of our real-world controllers, and it's awesome from what I've seen so far. A few other things in there. There's a flow calculator, tables that sort of detail how that flow needs to happen, and a lot of local knowledge items for the different fields. We're also lucky to have a developer working on a native VATSys Maestro plugin. So hopefully that can replace the Maestro website, which is temperamental at the best of times. And I think the benefit, it gets sort of more real-time data into the plugin, so it gives some better estimates for flow. Another plugin we're working on is a VATPAC plugin, just to tackle some of the division-specific requirements we'd like to put in there. The first one is to automatically put the extending sectors in your controller info, or whatever you want to call it. That flows through to the various mapping programs with some of the work we've done there to get them to read those comments and show those extended sectors as actually active. Another part of that plugin, we're looking to save some of that data that you don't get automatically through VATSIM. So if your client crashes and you've ever had to jump back on, you know how frustrating it can be to pick up all the tags. We've got a beta version of that working where if you crash and log back in, all that data gets sent back to your client automatically. It also does a similar benefit for you when you're handing over. So, if you're on approach, you'll be able to do a handover briefing, drop your sector. The next person that jumps on that same sector automatically gets all the tags active with all the previous data in there. Hopefully to have a more widely accessible beta of that in the very near future. Some of the other work we've been doing, thanks to heaps of contributions, we've improved our PNG and Pacific position SOPs. I think they just went live the other day. We've also been working through our Queensland en route positions, similarly to what we've done for the Melbourne FIR, where we've been assessing the best way to tackle both a position that works well for quiet times and also a position that works well during the busiest events. I think the changes are close to being done on the Queensland, and you'll probably see some news about that in the next month or so. In terms of the training team, training demand has continued to increase, and the queue is now over 100, has been for a couple of months. Thankfully, despite the queue time increasing, the wait time, or the average wait time for practical training, still remains fairly consistent, thanks to all the hard work from our instructors. So thank you to all the instructors. It's currently around 3 to 4 months. We have committed to maintaining the current wait time on the website. It's in the training section as well, so we'll keep that updated there for you. Another thing we've been working on to try and keep people engaged while they're in the queue and also reduce the time they need once they're at the front of the queue is some resources that those students can access. The first one we're looking at is a local version of the Sweatbox. Not a full functioning version, but it does give some of the initial training that S1s require. And it allows them to log on and do that at their own time. So again, no timeline on that project, but we're hoping to get that out shortly. Now, some of the stuff we have finished, we have the ATS assistants on board now, which is great. That's allowed us to tackle the huge amount of projects that I just went through. We've implemented Avalon Approach as a standalone position for Melbourne. VATSIS now has some holding maps as default. PDC format's been adjusted to allow multiple departure runways better. We've implemented secondary Metro detail positions. We've completed that Melbourne FIR, or the J-curve mainly, en route sector audit and TMA audit, which hopefully everyone has seen some benefit from. The Tasman Ocean position review has been finished. There's a bunch of issues that were raised in that, which we've all now addressed, including HF audio issues. And we've also removed some of the oceanic phraseology that we couldn't simulate due to other restraints. So the whole primary guard, secondary guard thing has been removed, and the courses and SOPs have been updated. And lastly, we've included the More ADAS plugin by default into both the Australia and I believe the Pacific dataset. If not, it should be there shortly, so that you can do multiple ADASs out of the box with VATSIS. I think I've taken enough time for everyone on a Sunday, so I will hand back.
Yeah, goodness, it's been a very busy few months for the ATS department. So we'll open up question time now while I briefly go on about what's been happening in membership. So how question time will work, just raise your hand if you want to speak, be added to the queue. Otherwise, you can send me a message directly. So membership, we've been pretty busy working on a few things behind the scenes that will hopefully come out in due course. Some upgrades to our socials happening with some more video content. There was a video that came out in collaboration with ATS about the changes to the sectors. So we figured that sort of information, it's a bit more digestible. So we're going to get some short 1-minute videos that will be coming out that hopefully will get on like a weekly basis. That should be able to give you guys some quick snippets into some important things. So without further ado, we'll go into one of our first questions that was given via direct message. This is to AJ. So obviously there's been the new SOPs that have come out for the Pacific PNG region. Are there any courses, any plans in the work for a course similar to the NZ conversion course for these regions?
I certainly haven't heard of one, but it's a good idea. I know there's been a lot of chat about the Pacific airspace, the Class F, and how to tackle that from our end. So yeah, we'll take that away and we can chat about it in the ATS discussions.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, AJ. All right, I'll invite Kieran to speak.
Hello. Just regarding, I don't know, didn't mention it once before regarding the training availability to be able to edit it whenever on the VATPAC website. I don't know if that will be any useful. The availability, so because it generally does obviously change when you get picked up on that. That's one of them I have to say.
Yeah, just quickly on that, 100%. So what you can do is you can email training@vatpac.org, and then we can go into your TMS account and we can edit that for you.
Yep. Just another one. I'm just thinking. Yes. I would like to see the SOPs to be a bit more easy to read and understand. But sometimes I get really confused a lot with reading them. I sometimes find it hard to understand them. Yeah. I don't know if that's something you guys can change to make it easier.
Yeah, 100%, mate. Look, so it's a tricky one because I mean, as AJ can probably speak to, the SOPs, it is a document that's trying to give guidance to controllers. So what we're trying to do within membership is have a set of documents that come out that give a sort of more introductory guide into a lot of the policies and procedures. We've got a few in the works. There's a few out there already. I think there's one between Melbourne and Sydney on one of those milk run events. So we're looking to sort of have a few more of those and some videos that hopefully are a bit more digestible for people to view. Does that sort of answer your question?
Yeah, it does. Thank you. That's what I was saying on that
Awesome.
one. Yeah, alright. Cheers.
I'd
All
say
right, thank you.
with the SOPs, I kind of agree. They are very specific to one learning style, which is really reading content that's in front of you. And I think it's important. I think we acknowledge that that's definitely not everybody's learning style. It's, in fact, most people probably won't learn just by looking at something and reading it. So, like, it's on the agenda. I'd say it's just not at the very top at the moment, but if that's, if anybody does want to get involved from the community, email AJ or email Matt, and if anybody's happy to make a video specific to any of the locations there that we can attach to the SOPs, I'm sure that people wouldn't necessarily, we obviously wouldn't say no.
Yeah, awesome. All right, thanks, Kieran. Callum, this one's for you regarding Discord. Recently, Discord moderation seen a lot of double standards plus unfair moderation decisions. This person was wondering if there's going to be any moderation standardizations that might happen.
So we are currently looking. There's 2 projects currently in place in this space. The first one is we're currently looking at updating the community policy, which the aim of which will really, we want it to have a lot more specific information. And I think when the latest rendition of the community policy was put together, the idea was that there was a little bit of a step back. We were able to sort of apply like a general rule of thumb, common sense approach to moderating the Discord. obviously, over time, I think that the problem with that is interpretations have started to change. So, look, a Discord policy update is something that's on the agenda right now. Other things that we sort of want to put in the policy is our expectations of the people that are joining the server, what we want to get out of the server, the idea behind, you know, the actual community coming together, and that's why it was created. It's to allow all of the like-minded individuals in the community to come together to learn, to share, and create friendships. And I know that there's a huge amount of people who've created like lifelong friendships from the division. So that's the aim of the Discord. And I think that we have the guidelines and the policy in place to make sure that we are able to continue achieving that. In terms of double standards, I like to look at everything very holistically, and I think that there are definitely occasions where, and every time something happens, every time someone's moderated, the whole team will look at it, including me. There's regular discussions in our moderation channels about the server and about whether we've made the right choice there, and that's something that's reflected on and discussed, and how we can do better after every time somebody does something that is questionable. But I do agree in the moment that sometimes it can come across that it may not be 100% consistent. So we are looking at reincorporating some moderated guidelines, which we used to have, but it's basically, with the new policy, there'll also be these guidelines which will give the moderators something clear and concrete to work off in terms of how we enact the policy and what the repercussions for the type of behaviour, with plenty of examples as well. So that's something we're doing to sort of standardise the moderation. In the meantime, I've also directed the team at the moment, because I do think that it's becoming a little bit overbearing. I have directed the team to take a bit of a step back. We are happy to watch things play out, and we want to encourage people. If you see something that you don't think is right, or you're offended by something, please use the /report tool. It takes all of 20 seconds to quickly pop something in. It pings all the moderators that are online, and we can respond to that straight away. But unless we get those reports, unless something is completely wild, out of control, we are going to be taking a bit of a step back to allow things to pan out, because we know, that's kind of risky with the some of the incidents that we have seen over the last 6 months. But I'd rather give people the opportunity to see what they're doing is disruptive, and from there, hopefully, they'll make better decisions. And with the community, the community is more than happy to call people out, I find. But look, we're focusing on improving that. Moderator guidelines, there will be a new policy. It should be published for review by the end of the month. And there'll be some moderator guidelines for our moderation team to follow with those.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Callum. So, moving on to the next question. Is there a way in the training system to show who your instructor is? For example, I had an issue where my instructor was unable to contact me, and it would have been awesome to contact them directly. I guess from a technical standpoint, that's possible, but maybe AJ can elaborate more on sort of why we don't want that to be the case.
I'm not sure about the design in the background, but certainly when you get picked up, the trainers should get in contact with you. We, I guess, more and more find we can get people on Discord, but if that fails, we revert to email. I guess it's unfortunate on both ends because a lot of instructors waste time waiting for students to respond quite often. So maybe that is a good idea to take away and see if we can't add something into the site.
Yeah, look, it's also another aspect of when you get picked up versus when the mentors ready to contact you. Sometimes, they might pick you up as they finalize some other students and sort of delays do occur. I would say if it takes over a week, then certainly get in contact with us via the help desk. I know a few people have done that recently, and we've sorted those issues out. And then the other thing is just making sure that your email with VATSIM is up to date. So how the server works is it pulls your VATSIM data directly from VATSIM when you sign in, and then that's what gives us your contact details to get into contact with. So making sure those emails with VATSIM are up to date is the most important. All right, so next question is for Clem. Is VATPAC aware of VATSIM's intention to roll out pilot feedback systems, and how will VATPAC align itself with those systems where local pilots have been referred to remedial training?
Cool, thanks for that. There, we are aware that there is a pilot feedback website from VATSIM. Looking at the website now, it is very bare bones. There's no functionality in it, and the policy that accompanies the website was written over 2.5 years ago and hasn't been reviewed since. So I haven't heard of any developments from VATSIM regarding this for the past year at least, or even longer than that. So when there is an update from VATSIM about this pilot feedback website, when it's closer to release, I'm sure we'll hear more from them, and we can work out with the pilot training department how we can best support this pilot feedback site. For the time being, if you do want to provide controller feedback, do so through the feedback section of the support the ticket system. But for now, we don't have any other implementation with VATSIM's pilot feedback system.
I'll just jump in there if that's okay, Clem.
Yeah, man.
Currently, from what I know, it's in a supervisor-only trial at the moment. It is being worked on expanding to the wider network, but we haven't heard anything else from the network in terms of when that is happening at a division level and what they need from us.
Cool, thank you.
Cool. All right. There's a question that goes out maybe to Clem regarding virtual airlines. There seems to be a virtual airline management system called VA-based. And there's a question regarding whether the VATPAC approved virtual airlines would combine all airline data so they can do combined tour and events systems as well as a pilot ACARS system. I don't know if you want to touch on that.
Yeah, we don't have any intention to do that at the moment. We are rewriting the virtual airline policy to include not just virtual airlines but other organizations as well. But I can't give any update as to whether we'll proceed with integrating with the virtual airline system, which I've forgotten the name of at this stage.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Question to ATS. Can we get Oz strips in the main controller training? Seems to be a bit of a gap at the moment on how to use that.
I mean, I guess it's not an official plugin from the VATPAC perspective currently, which is why it's not trained in the standard training. Certainly a great plugin, and I know a lot of instructors do give students a sort of overview at the end of the training to show the features and benefits. It's probably a question for the larger team when we officially adopt it or roll it into the profile, and then that could become part of the more default training pathway. I guess we're trying to show people how to control using the default tools rather than using the plugins currently, but that position can certainly change. Not sure if that added to the question.
Yeah, it's all good. Alrighty, if there's no more questions, that might conclude our question time. So last chance to raise your hand or send me a message. Alrighty, well, thank you everybody for coming to the town hall today. We hope that. Oh, here we go.
I'll take a few seconds as well if I can. Just say if anyone's we've opened the instructor applications again, looking for more instructors to join the team to help address the queue. So if you've ever had the interest of becoming an instructor, I would encourage you to apply, please. The link is on the main webpage.
Awesome. Thanks, AJ. All right, Grayson, you're up.
I just wanted to climb in and just say a little something. I'm a very fortunate boy, and for a number of years had the highest rated radio show in town. In the time that I've been flying with you guys, I have received so much feedback, comments, digs, jibes, laughs. It's been absolutely astonishing to me. And I just wanted to say again, in the coming up 30 years I've been flying online and ATC online, Milk Run Monday and Fly with VATPAC is absolutely the greatest event I've ever been part of. And I just wanted to say to you all, stunning, incredible, boggling jobs you guys do to put it all together. I love, and it's a high point of the early part of my week to climb on Monday. And I had a bit of a lesson a couple of weeks ago when I took the A321 up and back, and I vowed and declared to do that again. My 77 dub is it's the only way to fly, it really is. But I just wanted to say to you all, lots of love. It's phenomenal to be part of you guys. I love it. And you guys have absolutely put on a phenomenal region. I've said the same to the VAT-NZ guys, because of course I'm a big part of VAT-NZ. And so, yeah, and one of you mentioned before about buddying up and doing more and more. So yeah, I just wanted to throw that comment to you all tonight.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Grayson. Always a pleasure hearing you on the radios. Oh, sorry. Alrighty, we'll move on to the next Jesse Lee.
Hey guys, just a follow up about the conference exhibition that was supposedly in the works. Just wondering if there was an update on that.
Yeah, we've had a few questions about that one come through. It is in the works. I've been pretty tied down lately. We're going to be onboarding some more people who are willing to give us a hand in the organisation. Should be this week. And we'll have some more information, and we should have a solid date, location by the end of June, and hopefully some ticket sales will come out around the same time. So working hard on it at the moment. It's looking like it will be in the later part of this year, most likely in early December. As soon as we have some concrete information, we'll push it out. But that is definitely on the cards. We want to get it done this year, and we're looking at the moment in December.
Awesome. And then there was one more thing with regards to all the training. I know there was a comment made about how not a lot of people are visual learners in terms of reading, and that there is a sweat box in the works for something that can be done without instructors. But even in the meantime, if there was like a situation where there was like some recordings or videos or something that just gives a little bit more of that somewhat interactive learning side of it, that's not just sitting there listening to people.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's with the new ATS assistants that have come on. There's a bit of pilot stuff in the works at the moment, mainly because there isn't as much pilot content published by the division, but that's 100% something that we're looking at. And I think I had a chat with AJ quite a while ago, where it'd be great to, for every lesson plan that essentially exists on the Moodle, have a video at the end of it. So it's definitely something that we want to do. It's not anything that we're against. It's just I guess resourcing wise, that's probably our biggest struggle.
Amazing, thank you.
So probably only just to start, but one of the first videos we're making is how to be an observer, how to connect and do your obs hours. So we are, like you said, Callum, also trying to tackle it from the video perspective as well. It just takes time.
Awesome, thanks guys. All right, Nick Falcioni.
How are you guys? Now, if ever I've heard a radio voice, it was Grayson. So well done, Grayson. You've got a magic voice, mate. Just on that topic with regard to resources, I know you guys are pretty strapped, but is there something in the works as far as pilot ratings for VATPAC?
As in delivering them, or?
Yeah, basically delivering. Is there? And I know it's quite a task to get to do all the documents for pilot ratings, but I haven't seen anything on the VATPAC, and I know you guys are strapped as it is, but has there been any talk about it?
No, not really. We obviously back in the day, back in the olden days, VAT Oceania used to have a pilot training.
Even
system.
before those days, Blair, VATPAC used to have one.
All right, well, you're showing your age there, Callum. But that was shut down due to lack of. I know that times have changed, but I think VATPAC's number one priority now is to come up with the pilot SOPs and pilot tutorials, and then from there we can look to branch off into other things in the future. But I think having a solid base of content that every person in the division can use, no matter what their pilot rating is, I think is our number one priority in that regard. And then after there, we after that we can look into sort of other pilot rating things. Just because I guess the feedback we got when the pilot rating was overhauled was that the impact that has on the network at the moment isn't that great. So I guess we're just looking to upskill everyone, and then we'll look to maybe do that in the future.
I think that VATSIM wise, the pilot ratings they changed quite a bit in the latest addition or update that VATSIM did to the pilot ratings. Because even before, when we shut down the VAT Oceania one, there was a lot of individual organisations that were ATOs that were doing the exact same thing we were. So the idea was, well, we're all throwing resources at it. It's quite a substantial amount of resources that we could be using elsewhere. So I think that's why it got, one of the reasons it got axed in the first place. But looking now, there isn't. But I also think the level of content now that they require for one of the to be an ATO is quite a advanced level of knowledge compared to, I guess, people that jump into the sim and really need to fly from A to B via the Magenta line. As long as they can program an FMC and understand the basic concepts, they should be right. And I don't think that the VATSIM ratings, especially even the basic ones, would cover a good amount of the membership base.
Okay, and also I don't want to hog up the time too much. I heard that young guy talk about the SOPs and how different people learn, and it got me thinking: would I be introducing something that you guys are saying in regard to producing some sort of videos and going through the SOPs, i.e. Melbourne or Adelaide, and putting up a video, because as most people know that I'm alias Pushing 10, so I've got a few vids out there, or would I be just sort of replicating videos that you guys are going to do in the future?
Well, I'm sure we can speak offline about that, Nick, and we'll reach out and we can talk about how they can progress and best benefit the community.
Okay, no worries. Cheers.
Thanks, Nick.
Awesome. Thanks, Pushing 10.
Sorry, I missed that.
Oh, all good. All right, we'll move on to our next person.
Hey, I just wanted to request that we use Josh as the prime example of what not to do when landing a plane. Thank you.
Beautiful. All right, and on that lovely note, I think we'll finish up with the town hall today. Clem, is there anything you want to add on there at the end?
No, that's all good. Keep on flying, guys. Keep on controlling, and we'll see you on the network. Keep having fun.
Awesome. All right. Thank you. At 4:48, that wraps up our town hall. Feel free to reach out to any of us if you have any further questions or submit a ticket on the help desk. Have a lovely rest of your day. Thank you.